Well, I have wandered into the Weber County Fair. I haven't been to a county fair in a long time. It's Friday, so it's not going to be very busy here in the afternoon, but see if we can get it to track me a little bit. Oh, do tracking. All right, we'll see what's happening at a county fair in Weber County.
Yeah, they're out there somewhere.
Ginormous. It is ginormous, isn't it? I think the cat.
Big thing on that one.
Want me to show you? Yeah. Oh, okay.
Okay, they might do.
Best in show, of course. Like, look how you okay.
Come on. I know there's only color. Yellow. Who's got the two already? He has the two white ones. That's it. Green. Blue. Somebody got a blue? Yeah, he's got a blue. Purple and blue.
Missed like 2 or 3 times. And it didn't do it at all yesterday, so it's...
Oof, that's stinky.
Well, like, how long do you want me to talk?
We just walk over there by them.
Let's hours and hours.
Let's walk over there and tell me 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
Just a 1 minute spiel on each one?
Yeah, well, yeah, sure. Is that one's not yours? This one is?
This one's a friend of mine. This is a Lamborghini.
Wow.
Friend of guy just imported that from Scotland. But this one's a...
You're recording?
Oh, this was a 1936 Farmall F20. The story on this one was it was the first rubber tire tractor in Rich County, Utah. So the standard for these was steel wheels. They didn't need, tractors. They didn't start putting rubber tires on tractors until about the early 30s. The farmers were actually afraid that the rubber, as it wore off, would poison the soil. So this one came with these French and Hex spoked wheels, and this one is the narrow version. So it's about a foot narrower than the standard F20.
And this one still runs?
Oh, it runs perfectly. But
Okay.
you got a crank starter, but it runs perfectly.
I've seen them where they start them with like a shotgun shell. That doesn't do that, though.
Yeah, no. There's one brand. What is it? It's a. It's not the Bulldog, but it's not the Lance Bulldog. But there's another. It's a European where they do start them like that. Those are pretty rare.
How about this one? Now, I'm going to be on this side because this is where the sun is for me. You can come closer. You can be right next to it.
This one is a McCormick WD9. It's the McCormick was the Wheatland version. So basically the low, wide front version of the Farmalls. The Farmalls were the taller row crop, corn cultivating. These were just for pulling heavy plows in Wheatland. So this was the big tractor in the 40s and early 50s.
I have a microphone. Can you just hold it?
Sure. This was the biggest farm tractor that International Harvester made in the 40s and 50s.
Wow.
So it was, and being a diesel, the unique thing about this one is it's a gasoline start diesel. So on one side of the engine there's spark plugs, distributor, carburetor. On the other side it's diesel. And so you start it on gasoline, and then after it warms up for about a minute, throw the lever and it throws some linkages and stuff, and it turns on the injection pump and shuts off the spark plugs, and it starts running on diesel. And then you farm away with
That's something
diesel.
I'd never heard of before. So.
International Harvester, up until the mid to late 50s, were the only one that did that. John Deere, to start their diesels, they had a pony motor, sometimes called a donkey engine, but it was a starting 2-cylinder gasoline engine that you started that, and then you engaged a clutch to turn the main engine. That's how Caterpillar started their tractors until the 60s. But International was like, well, why have a separate engine that you have to maintain and change the oil on? We could do it all in one engine. So it's the same engine that just switches over.
Wow.
It's just more complicated. It works great when it's
So you're Dave Wilburn then,
Yep,
I take it.
that's
Okay,
right.
so then this one is...
This is a 1958 Farmall 340. So it's just a general utility. The Farmall name, Farmall just means that it was the do-it-all tractor. It could run a PTO pull plow, run a belt-driven implement, cultivate, bolt-on cultivators, and do whatever you needed to around the farm. It was one machine that could do everything, basically. So this is like a 40 horsepower tractor. This is my wife drives this, so this is my wife's tractor.
Well, that's nice.
And this is a Farmall 450. It was the big row crop tractor. This is 1957. So in 1957, they had this and the grill, and the grill changed on all the Farmalls to that style grill in 1958. So they're only 1 year apart, but they changed the look completely. This one's about 55 horsepower. It was the big dog, in the late 50s. It was a big tractor.
And you didn't need a monthly rental fee or a service fee for data from John Deere in those days.
Yeah, yeah. So these were modernized to where they had hydraulics built in, and they have a fast hitch hydraulic system and remotes and power. They both have power steering. So they're really nice to drive. So that one's real safe, and my wife likes driving that. It's real easy to drive. So
My wife's family were all farmers, and her grandfather farmed in Weiser, Idaho, or somewhere up there. New Plymouth, and then they moved to Moses Lake, and they were the first farmers up there. And they had tractors like this.
This guy had these in West Point, and he restored them about 25 years ago, but he passed on years ago, and I just bought them from his family a year ago. They've been sitting in the barn for 20 years, and so I bought them. I was like, well, I'll keep them locally, and then I let them. I let the son and the father drive them in the 4th of July parade this year. I was like, you can drive your dad and your granddad's tractors in the parade. So I let him drive both of these tractors in the West Point parade this year.
Oh, how cool. Well, so these tractors are all gray and they went for metal.
Yeah, in fact, we can go down here and look at this regular. It's probably the easiest way to show it.
So I have an interesting proposition / request. Where do you keep these tractors when you're not here?
I keep them in a barn
In what city?
in West Point.
So I have an idea. We do lots of photography with sexy, pretty women, models, girls. I think we could do a farm type theme.
Oh yeah.
The farmer's daughter kind of shoot.
Yeah.
I'll contact you. I'll find some models. I think I can find some models, and we can
Oh.
bring them out to your place. And
Okay.
okay, so here, this is the original color.
This is a 1929, 1930 Farmall, and they were just known as the Farmall. They only made the one model, but this is what they look like, and they were the McCormick Deering Farmall because it did everything around the farm. That's where that name came from, was this tractor here. Once it was supplanted and then they replaced it with three different, they started making more. These became known as regular. So you heard that people called this the Farmall regular, but it was actually just the Farmall. So, but the gray color with the red wheels, that is correct up until 1936. And like that Ford is a 1939, and see how it's still gray?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until a few years later that they started painting them, so they came out with the two ends, that they started painting them red and light gray.
Huh.
Most tractors were gray before the night, up into the 19th.
Probably because they thought it attracted lightning or something.
Well, apparently it was the paint was cheap, battleship gray, lead paint. It was cheap and abundant. It was was, hey, it's a tractor, it's going to be getting the dirty. Let's put something, very tough and cheap on it. Well, then it wasn't until the 30s that they started realizing, hey, wait a minute, farmers are competitive, and we want when the tractor's out working in the field, if we can paint our tractors red, and everybody knows that a red tractor means it's an international, then that's marketing. So that's where the John Deere, the green and yellow came from, so that you could see as you're driving down the road, Farmer Tim, he's got John Deere's, and this guy's got internationals, and this guy's got Massey Ferguson.
Yeah. I had farmers like that,
Yeah.
very much like.
So so once they realized how competitive they were,
Well, you're a fountain of wealth, and I like that.
they were made like 1941 to 1952. But this one, they took the original engine out, and he put a Chevy 350.
I can see that.
And so it's just a show, and then he painted the candy apple as so it's reddish, as like the Farmalls, but did a nice paint job on it just to make it a little flashier. But yeah, you want to talk about this for him?
Sure.
What it is?
So this is a steam engine or a gas engine?
These are gas engines. This is a 1914, I think, 1913, 1914. It's an International Harvester Vertical Famous. So they made them vertical instead of horizontal. It's water cooled. You can see it's got a little screen cooling system there. Pulls cold water off the bottom, takes a little warmer water off the top, and cools it on the screen. Hit and miss, so it only fires when it needs to.
Oh, really? Only when it needs to. How does it know when it? How does it know when it needs to?
Well, it senses it off some springs off the governor.
And then it throws a spark when it needs to.
No, it just actually opens you see the valves up here.
Oh, huh.
They're shut until they need to fire, and then it opens it up and lets it fire. So it holds the exhaust valve open until it needs to
I wondered
fire.
how that worked.
Yeah. And the idea is if it doesn't need it, it's not going to spend the gasoline. So, in fact, we put a little belt on here.
Well, you're brave.
Yeah, I got to go prime the pump, but
So now it's going to drive a water pump.
yeah, here. I wonder if you can hold that for me, and I'll do it.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, we got it. Let me do it.
You just got to prime the pump, and then it'll just pick it up and recirculate it just to show that to show how you would belt these things up to any sort of equipment. But before electricity on the farms, you know, you had a stationary engine, and then you could power your grain crushing machine or your corn grinder or feed grinder, whatever you needed.
Thank you.
Turn a generator, water
That worked.
pump, whatever.
We learned how to prime that yesterday.
Yeah.
All right, now you're
So that's just a demo to sort of show it can pump the water out and back into itself. But that's now got a load on it and it's running fine.
That's how the flat belts are how they transmitted power. They would run entire machine shops off of belts like that.
yeah.
The
Off of
pulleys
one
and the
engine.
belts are how they did it. That's got a pulley on the other side. That ran a threshing machine. Milking machine. I've got an engine that ran milking machines. One that ran a sheep shearing machine in Australia. I mean, they ran every kind of thing you can imagine. Every kind of saw, circular saw, drag saw.
Oh yeah.
And then the windmill pump, we had trouble with him.
Championship ready to go. Out in the ring, you can see our first place winners from each class. From Class 5, Boston Forsberg. From Class 6, Nash Ostrup. From Class 7, Macy Malone.
Yeah, for sure. You're going to have a lot of fun getting to know Dave. Oh.
Well, the Hall of Quilts. Gonna have a Hall of Quilts at the fair.